Don't want to take too much time, and there's so many things that need to be said in a few minutes that really couldn't do it justice. But it's interesting introducing myself a little bit. I was at the Freedom Festival in Orem, Provo in July, and I had somebody come up to me and he said, well, okay, we were talking for a while, and he said, well, you know, what qualifies you to be the governor? And I said, okay, so compared to Herbert before he was elected, or compared to Obama with his qualifications before he became president? You know, it's kind of a one-sided question that people ask, like, you know, our governor now, he's qualified. Well, was he qualified before he got here? So I explained to him, I've been a citizen activist, lobbyist for about 25 years. I have been on Capitol Hill during sessions of our legislation. I've spoken in intern meetings and through the committee meetings. I debated bills. I've done everything there is to do in the political process. I currently serve in our town on the largest taxing entity, and I've been involved in all areas of the political process. I run my own construction company that I've done for about 27 years, and I know how to balance my personal checkbook. And that alone qualifies me more than any of our elected officials now. So, you know, when we're talking qualifications, sometimes people think the new person doesn't stand the qualifications. Governor Herbert, in my opinion, doesn't deserve to be our governor anymore. He's proven himself unworthy, and many people, even in the Republican Party, realize how bad he has become. And the president of the Tea Party of Utah, David Kirkham, realized that Gary Herbert had to go, and he tried to get some Republicans to run against him, and he decided, well, if nobody else would do it, he would. So he tried to run against Gary Herbert in the convention, and he lost. And so many people think, well, we got to fix it in the Republican Party. And I'm here to tell you that there's not enough conservative people in the Republican Party who understand constitutional principles to fix it in that party.
Amen.
The further we get into socialism and taking the spoils of the government, the harder it's going to be to get good people elected. We need a three-way race to get someone constitutionally and conservative elected into office. And until we can get a good third party built up and running, it's not going to happen. Some of the things that we're going to do differently in our party is, Tim and I, as we start to run, Gary Herbert is signed into Common Core. Common Core, for those of you who don't know, is Obama's plan that's kind of taken No Child Left Behind on our federal education program and taken it to the next level, where they will take total control of our education system. Herbert and Cook, both other candidates, are totally supporting that. We will appeal and nullify Common Core. I'm so frustrated with, we have states all around us who are standing up against our federal government, and our governor here in Utah refuses to even back them. Alabama just passed a bill that they would outlaw any of Agenda 21 coming into their state. I don't have time to go into that, but our governor refuses to do that. Arizona stood up against our federal government on their immigration issues, and our governor not only wouldn't support Arizona, but he said, that's okay, if you don't want the illegals in your state, let's bring them to our state, House Bill 116. And we need to have Utah be a leader like these other states. North Dakota finally stood up and said, we're going to take control of our own lands. The government controls over 60% of our land in Utah. And now, because they stood up and taken control of their own lands, they don't have property taxes, and they have the highest economy in the United States right now. If we took control of our lands, we would do away with our property taxes and we would become a thriving economy again. Our governor said that before he does any of these things, he's going to go to the Governors Association and get their opinion. That would be like our federal government saying, we're going to go to the UN and see if we should give up our Second Amendment rights. It's insane what this governor has done for our state, and it's time for him to go. The only people that will vote for Governor Herbert are those who do it in ignorance. And we can win this election, but it needs to be done through education. And if we can get everyone to start doing Facebook and emails and letting people know what's going on and pass this information on, Gary Herbert can be voted out of office, but it's got to be up to all of us and not just me. And I'm excited to have Tim Aalders as my lieutenant governor. Tim Aalders is an incredible constitutionalist, and he stood up against the establishment, tried to defeat Orrin Hatch, and he's been a Republican and a strong player in that party trying to fix things there. And I'm going to turn the time over to Tim and take it.
The Constitution Party keeps flattering me time and time again. When I ran for the U.S. Senate, they came out and spoke at my launch party because they recognized me as somebody who cares about our country. And I got a call about a week ago saying, hey, we decided to vote for you to run for our lieutenant governor. Madison, Adams, Jefferson, Franklin. These people had different philosophical views, different ideologies. They were Federalists and Anti-Federalists. But they came together, they united, and they gave us a sacred document, the Constitution. They put America first. And I hear so many Americans today say, well, we have to vote the better of two evils. We can't vote outside our party. What they fail to realize is they're still voting for evil. There is good and evil in this world, folks. And we need good people to stand up, to wake up. The silent majority needs to become active. How many of you are happy with the national debt? Raise your hands. How many of you are happy that Utah has $25 billion in unfunded liabilities right now? Almost all of it over the last 4 years, and at the same pace, will be $50 billion in unfunded liabilities. We balance our budget because states are required to balance the budget, but we do it with federal money, which adds to the national debt. So basically, everybody here is on the dole. Whether we want to admit it or not, we have to cut ties. We have to become self-sufficient as a state and as a country. But right now, the political parties here in Utah control. They dominate. And if you try and break into their system, trust me, they beat you down. They don't allow you to debate because you might have more knowledge than the person you're debating. And they'll tell you that openly. But folks, I'm here to tell you, we can make a difference. It was a small percentage of people that formed the Sons of Liberty. And I see many sons and daughters of liberty here today. But you have to decide, are your children, are your grandchildren worth fighting for? Worth stepping outside the box, thinking differently, and not being swayed by the media. And trust me, I do a 3-hour radio show every day. I left the big media channels, Clear Channel, because they'll tell you what to say and what you cannot say. I'm politically incorrect, I'll admit it. But tell me Franklin, Jefferson, Washington were politically correct in the eyes of England and the king. So I'm proud to be politically incorrect because political correctness is destroying this country. We have the means, we have the ability to bring change to Utah and let Utah lead. We have the ability to vote our hearts and what the Lord would want us to do. The question is, do you have the will, the courage, to do what other people tell you you shouldn't do? Are you going to have the ability to stand up and check the box, even if it costs the Republican government here, the governor, to lose to a Democrat? I'll tell you what, there's no difference. HB 116, I saw every delegate in this state vote for him to repeal that bill. He ignored his own party, his own delegates. What they did is they found more moderate people to become delegates. I watched as he accepted Common Core, a government takeover of our education. I watched as he flip-flopped on the sex ed bill because pressure from chamber and youth who do not have understanding of what's going on. Do we want a governor who will bend to the whims of special interest, or do we want a governor who's going to protect the children, the grandchildren, and the people of this state? I encourage you, think outside the box. Join this revolution. We might not win. The odds are against us, but the odds were against us in the Revolutionary War. The odds were against us in 1812, and the odds are against us today. But if we are going to save the future for our children, for our grandchildren, we better step up and be willing to make the same sacrifices those people were willing to make. Of our time, our efforts, and our finances, and our lives if it takes it. And I'm willing to do that, and all these men and women behind me are willing to do that, and I'm hoping all of you are willing to stand with us. Together we can do this. Thank you.